Hey, Grandmaster Stroud here, also known as Brother Teacher. I want to point out a very important aspect of self-defense and or fighting for some. And that's the fact, in my particular system at least, you should never back out of a confrontation once it has begun. And I want to clarify that a little bit better by saying this. Once you're in a situation where you have no other recourse but to protect yourself and you cannot escape the situation, let me be emphatic about this. You must always try to escape the situation first. If you can't, again, and you have to, excuse me, result in physical confrontational type of techniques, striking and so forth, always remember to keep your opponent in your circle. When a person gets this close to you, let me say this also. Here in the near future, before this month of November 2016 is out, I'm going to have some more hands-on and one-on-one with some of my students, and I'm going to submit those videos so that you can see those videos that can explain these concepts even better to you. A lot of my students are working, in school and things like that, and I don't have access to them as I would desire, but it's up and coming, so be looking out for that. But getting back on the subject of never backing down, we have throws and we have techniques where we may take an opponent down. We want to keep the opponent in front of us when we throw them. So if I throw an opponent, let's say I use a technique from judo like Ippon Sanage, which is a shoulder throw, I'm going to throw him directly down in front of me. And if I use Murota Sanage, which is another judo throw, supported, I'm going to throw him down in front of me. And if I use, let's say, an Aikido throw, Shianagi, which is a shoulder throw, I'm not going to throw him away. Or even if I use Kodogashi, which is a wrist throw, I'm not going to throw my opponent away from me. I'm going to throw them directly in front of me. And the reason for that is you want to leave the aggression where the aggression began. So if a person were to attack you, you want to stop them inside of this circle, this space here. Because if you allow them to back away from you, then that person could assess the situation and come at you more aggressively, or they can reach into a pocket or a waistband and pull out a knife or a gun. So if that was not the reality in the beginning, you don't want it to be the reality afterwards. So that's why I say you want to stop the situation right here, up close and personal. So if this were my opponent and he is here attacking me, I'm going to finish him. I'm not going to allow him to back away from me, because if he does back away, and it would be wrong for me, not wise, I should say, to pursue him, that could be detrimental as well, because he could be very deceptive and still pull out another weapon and harm me even further. And on that same note of injury, don't think just because you're studying any type of martial arts that you won't be injured, that you will walk out unscathed. Confrontation is confrontation. You're going to always be touched in a martial arts confrontation when you are the martial artist or the person who's studying or training. I don't care how many years of experience you have, you can still be touched, because we cannot predict. We're not clairvoyant. We can't read the minds of the opponent and know what they're going to do before it happens necessarily. So when someone attacks you, just allow Mushin Notion, mind of no mind, to take over, as Masashi said. In other words, don't occupy your mind with what I should do, because you're hindering your potential outcome as far as it being successful. So you let it happen, you respond to it based on your training. And on that same note, your training is indicative of how you are going to respond in an actual fight situation. In other words, how you train is how you're going to fight. And how you fight is how you should be training. So if you're fooling around and you're training every once in a while and you treating it as if it's a hobby, then the results of that is what you're going to get in a real street situation. You will not have the confidence, and you will not have the deliberation. You will not have the strength and the courage to take it to fruition, because you will be doubting yourself in a confrontation. And I hope that this video was beneficial to you. So again, make sure that if someone attacks you, that you stop it in its genesis right in front of you. Okay, this is Brother Teacher. I'll see you in the next video. So long.